As I sit down to reflect on what I've learned over 6 decades of life, I want to share something genuine with you. These are personal lessons shaped by my experiences and the hard-earned wisdom of the years. They aren't intended to be rules for everyone, but rather insights that might resonate with you, especially if you're in your 50s, 60s, or beyond. Life teaches us through a series of trials, triumphs, and moments of quiet reflection, and the lessons often evolve with time. Now that I'm in my retirement years, my priorities have shifted. Many of the things I thought were crucial in my 30s or 40s have faded in importance, while other things I once overlooked have taken center stage. These are truths that I hold dear today, though I am far from perfect in living them. I'm sharing these reflections not as someone who has mastered life, but as someone still learning every day. If you find something that resonates with you here, I encourage you to sit with it, reflect on it, and perhaps it will spark something meaningful in your own journey. 1. We have less time than we think, and it's more precious than we realize. As I sit here at 65, I can't help but reflect on the passage of time. Time is relentless, slipping through our fingers faster than we ever imagined. When I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, I felt invincible. I never thought twice about time. There was always tomorrow to start that project, or someday to repair a relationship or chase a dream. But now, in my 60s, I understand that later is not promised. My wife and I have realized that we may have another 10, perhaps 15 years of good health ahead of us, if we're fortunate. We know this is not guaranteed, but we've chosen to live as if it's true. While it's tempting to get caught up in the illusion that life stretches out endlessly, the truth is our time is finite. Sure, we hear stories of people living vibrantly into their 80s and 90s, but those are the exceptions, not the rule. My father lived until 88, and while he was physically active for most of those years, the last decade was slow, filled with quiet days and declining energy. I've learned to ask myself, am I living as if my time is running out? It's not a morbid question, but a motivating one. If we knew we only had 15 good years left, how would we choose to spend them? It's easy to fall into the comfort of routine, to fill our days with the familiar and the safe, but is that really how we want to spend the time we have left? Whether it's travel, starting a new passion project, mending old wounds, or simply spending more time with family, the time is now. This realization has led me to prioritize experiences over things. I no longer care about accumulating more stuff or checking off arbitrary achievements. Instead, I focus on creating memories with the people I love. Because that's what will last. In the end, our legacy isn't about what we did or owned, it's about how we spent our time and who we shared it with. 2. Health is a daily choice. Choose wisely. If I've learned one truth about longevity, it's that health isn't something that happens to us. It's something we actively cultivate every single day. For much of my life, I took my health for granted, assuming that as long as I didn't feel sick, I was doing just fine. But now, in my retirement years, I see just how vital the daily choices we make regarding our health truly are. Diet and exercise are the cornerstones of a long, healthy life. They are the two most powerful tools we have to extend our health span, the years during which we can live actively and fully. Forget about the latest miracle pill or trendy supplement. It's what you put in your body and how you move your body that counts the most. When I was younger, I didn't pay much attention to my diet. Like many people, I ate whatever was convenient or enjoyable, not thinking much about the long-term effects. But now, in my 60s, I can see the difference that good nutrition makes. Not just in my waistline, but in my energy levels, my mood, and even my outlook on life. Eating a balanced, whole food diet has become one of the most important investments I make in myself. Exercise, too, has taken on new importance. In my youth, physical activity was often about appearance or performance, how fast I could run, how strong I could get, but now it's about staying mobile, flexible, and capable of enjoying life. I don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights anymore, but I do need to walk, stretch, and stay active. Movement is life, and I want to keep moving for as long as I can. The truth is, health is one of the few things we can control as we age. While genetics play a role, much of our well-being is determined by the choices we make every day. The earlier we start making better choices, the more time we'll have to enjoy the benefits. 3. Money stops being the focus. What matters is what money can't buy. For most of my working life, I was laser-focused on financial security. I worked hard to build a career, save for retirement, and ensure that my family was provided for. But now that I'm in my retirement years, I've come to realize that money, while important, has taken a back seat. In our younger years, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of wealth. We chase promotions, save for the future, and often sacrifice time with loved ones in the name of financial stability. But here's the truth: once your basic needs are met, your home, your healthcare, your daily expenses, money becomes less and less important. What really matters now are the things that money can't buy: time with family, meaningful connections with friends, and the peace of mind that comes from knowing that you've lived a good life. When I reflect on what brings me the most joy, it's not the size of my bank account or the possessions I've accumulated. It's the memories I've made with the people I care about, the quiet moments spent with my wife, and the laughter shared with my grandchildren. In retirement, I've learned to focus more on what money enables me to do, rather than on money itself. It's a tool, nothing more. It won't heal a broken relationship, it won't give you more time, and it won't bring you lasting happiness. What truly matters is how you spend your days and who you spend them with. 4. Your career won't define you, and that's okay. I spent over 40 years building my career as an engineer and manager, and for much of that time, I let my work define me. My identity was tied to what I did for a living, the title on my business card, and the successes I achieved. But now, 6 years into retirement, I can tell you this: my career feels like a distant memory. This was a tough pill to swallow at first. For years, I was proud of my professional accomplishments, and I assumed that others would always see me as a successful engineer. But the truth is, once you leave the workforce, your career starts to fade into the background, and you know what? That's perfectly okay. No one talks about my old job anymore. It's not what defines me, and it's not what people remember about me. What I've come to understand is that our careers are just one part of who we are. While work may have been a big part of my life for decades, it's not the most important part now. I'm focused on being a good husband, a present father, a loving grandfather, a loyal friend, and a helpful mentor. These are the roles that will leave a lasting impact. If you're still working, I encourage you to do great work, but don't let your career define you. At the end of the day, your relationships, your character, and how you treated others will matter far more than your professional achievements. 5. Being present is the greatest gift you can give. One of the most profound lessons I've learned is the importance of being truly present for the people you love. My Aunt Betty and Uncle John taught me this by example. They didn't just send a card for special occasions or make the occasional phone call. They showed up. They were present at graduations, birthdays, weddings, and even just for quiet afternoons on the porch. In today's world, it's easy to get distracted by technology, busy schedules, and the demands of daily life. We send texts, we make quick calls, and we send birthday greetings on social media, but these aren't substitutes for real presence. I've learned that being there in person means everything. Whether it's attending family gatherings, showing up for someone in need, or simply spending time with loved ones, those moments matter more than we realize. I've seen how much it means to my grandchildren when I come to their soccer games or school plays. I've felt the joy of reconnecting with an old friend over coffee, not through a screen, but face to face. Presence is a gift, and it's one of the most precious things we can offer. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Sometimes it's just sitting with someone in silence, enjoying the moment together. Don't underestimate the power of being present. It's something that stays with people long after you've left the room. 6. Let go of the fear of embarrassment and embrace authenticity. One of the hardest lessons I've learned over the years is the importance of letting go of the fear of embarrassment. For a long time, I was afraid to speak up, afraid to confront difficult conversations, and afraid of looking foolish. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that most of the things I was afraid of were trivial, Fear of embarrassment can hold us back in so many ways. It can prevent us from having those crucial conversations with family members, from apologizing when we've made a mistake, or from reaching out to someone we've lost touch with. But the truth is, once you push through that fear, good things happen. It might feel uncomfortable for a few moments, but the rewards on the other side are worth it. I've had my share of awkward conversations, talking to a sibling after a falling out, addressing financial concerns with my wife, and asking for forgiveness from an old friend. These moments weren't easy, but they were necessary, and in every case, the relationship grew stronger because we were able to have that honest, vulnerable conversation. If there's one piece of advice I could give, it's this: don't be afraid to ask for what you want or need. Don't worry about how others will react. The people who care about you will appreciate your honesty, and you'll feel lighter for having spoken your truth. 7. Small acts of kindness can change lives. One of the greatest gifts life has given me is the understanding that small acts of kindness can have a profound impact on others. I didn't always realize this. I used to think that making a difference meant doing something big, something grand. But over the years, I've learned that it's often the small, seemingly insignificant gestures that change someone's day, or even their life. Whether it's a kind word, a simple act of generosity, or a moment of encouragement, these small gestures can have a ripple effect far beyond what we imagine. I've had people tell me years after the fact that something I said or did made a difference in their life, and I had no idea at the time. I've become more conscious of this, whether it's offering advice to a young person starting their career, lending a helping hand to a neighbor, or simply taking the time to listen to a friend going through a hard time. I've learned that these small acts of kindness matter. We may not always see the impact of our actions, but that doesn't mean they're not felt. Kindness is a gift we can give freely, and it's one of the most powerful legacies we can leave behind. 8. Accomplishments fade, but the journey remains. When we're young, we spend a lot of time chasing after accomplishments, whether it's getting that promotion, buying a new house, or reaching a personal milestone. And while these achievements can be fulfilling in the moment, I've learned that their satisfaction fades quickly. You get the promotion, and after a few days you're back to the grind. You buy the new car, and after a few weeks, it's just another vehicle. These moments, while exciting at first, don't provide lasting happiness. What stays with you is the journey, the experiences, the challenges, the growth along the way. Looking back, it's not the awards or the titles that mean the most to me. It's the relationships I've built, the lessons I've learned, and the people I've helped along the way. Life is about the journey, not the destination. It's about how we show up each day, how we treat others, and how we navigate the ups and downs. I've come to realize that it's not the end result that matters, it's the person you become along the way. 9. Material things won't bring you joy, but time with loved ones will. There's an old saying that you can't take it with you, and the older I get, the more I understand just how true that is. We spend much of our lives accumulating things, houses, cars, gadgets, clothes, but in the end, these things don't bring lasting happiness. They're temporary, fleeting. What does bring joy, I've found, is time spent with the people you love. It's the memories you make, the connections you nurture, the laughter and the conversations. When I look back on my life, the moments that stand out aren't the times I bought something new, they are the times I spent with family and friends, the shared experiences, the adventures, and the quiet moments of connection. In my retirement years, I've made a conscious effort to focus more on relationships than possessions. I don't need a bigger house or a fancier car. What I need is time with my grandchildren, conversations with my wife, and moments of connection with the people I care about. 10. Giving is more fulfilling than receiving. If you had told me 30 years ago that giving would be more fulfilling than receiving, I'm not sure I would have believed you. But now, I can honestly say that the joy I get from giving my time, my resources, and my energy far outweighs any pleasure I've ever gotten from receiving a gift or a favor. There's something deeply rewarding about helping others, whether it's through volunteering, offering advice, or simply being there when someone needs you. In my community, I've taken on several volunteer roles, whether it's building homes with Habitat for Humanity, serving on the park board, or helping out with local events. What I've learned is that giving is one of the most meaningful ways we can spend our time. It's not about recognition or accolades. It's about knowing that you've made a positive impact in someone else's life, and that, in my opinion, is one of the greatest joys in life. 11. Faith grows stronger with time, and it brings peace. Faith has always been a part of my life, but in my later years, it has become even more central to who I am. As someone who comes from a background in engineering, I've always been a facts and figures person. In my younger years, I struggled with faith because it didn't always align with my need for logic and proof. But over time, I've come to see faith as something deeper, something that coexists with reason rather than opposing it. In the past decade, I've spent more time studying my faith, reading scripture, and reflecting on the bigger questions in life. What I found is a sense of peace that I didn't have in my younger years. Faith doesn't always give us clear answers, but it gives us hope, and that hope is what sustains us through life's trials. Whether you consider yourself religious or not, I believe that we all need something to believe in, something that gives us a sense of purpose and meaning. For me, that's my faith, and it's become the foundation on which I build my life. 12. Legacy is about the people you touch, not what you leave behind. The older I get, the more I think about legacy. When I was younger, I thought legacy was about accomplishments, the things I'd built, the awards I'd won, the wealth I'd accumulated. But now I see it differently. Legacy isn't about what you leave behind in material terms, it's about the people you've touched along the way. What will people remember about you when you're gone? Not the size of your house or the car you drove, but the kindness you showed, the relationships you nurtured, the love you gave. That's the legacy that truly matters. I've come to realize that my greatest legacy will be the impact I've had on the people I care about, the advice I've given, the support I've offered, the love I've shown. And that's what I want to be remembered for. Not the things I owned or the career I had, but the way I made people feel, the way I helped them, and the way I lived my life. In the end, our legacy isn't about the things we leave behind, it's about the love, the wisdom, and the kindness that live on in the hearts of the people we've touched. Those are my 12 truths, shaped by decades of living, working, learning, and growing. Some of them I wish I had understood earlier in life, but it's never too late to embrace what matters most. What about you? What lessons have you learned as you've gotten older? I'd love to hear them, and I know others would benefit from your wisdom too. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and remember there's gold in the shared experiences of others. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you find these stories inspiring and motivating, please comment 1, if not, comment 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Thank you for your valuable time.